Hello and welcome to the Fluency First podcast. I'm here with Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, everybody. Hi, David.
Hi, Carol. Today we will be talking about everything and anything when it comes to British culture. But at the start of every podcast, you may know we start with small talk. Today, I thought instead we could talk about small talk. So my first question is, why is the weather everyone's go-to topic when it comes to small talk? Why do we always seem to talk about the weather when we start having a conversation with someone?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be able to have a conversation with my fishmonger, the guy I buy the fish from, if I didn't talk about the weather. Because, well, I try and introduce some other topics. I think it's safe, and also we have a lot of weather, don't we? It's always changing, and it's often bad.
Yeah, it can change at a minute's notice. Do you go to the fishmongers around there?
I do.
So good, isn't it?
He's brilliant, yeah.
He looks like the guy that, on the fish fingers packet.
Oh, yeah.
I swear he looks exactly like a fisherman. Yeah. If you imagine a fisherman with a hat and a white beard, that is him, isn't it? Okay, well, yeah. I actually read that 60% of people choose the weather as, the topic of small talk. So if you're learning English, it's a good idea to really be able to and practice talking about the weather. Shall we talk about it now?
Yeah.
What do you think of the weather at the moment then, Carol?
Well, it's a bit variable, isn't it? When I asked Alexa this morning, was it going to rain? She said it's raining now, but it was actually blue sky and sunshine.
That's so weird.
Whereas right now it's cloudy, isn't it, with the sun trying to push through the clouds. So often we're moaning about the weather, aren't we? That's the thing.
Many people do. I don't.
No.
Like at the moment, we either had a storm that's come through, Storm Amy.
That's right.
And I went for a walk early this morning and it was very windy. But I find storms and, heavy rain exciting. As long as it doesn't happen for too long.
I know.
And as long as no one gets hurt or any damage is caused, I don't want that to happen.
Of course. So I think it's weird at the moment, isn't it? Because Storm Amy is presumably the result of some climate change. And actually in some parts of the world, it's caused a lot of devastation and loss. So something that's it's kind of like a tame, easy subject for us to talk about actually is quite loaded in this time right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So is small talk just politeness or is it something more, would you say?
I think it's safe ground. I think, with anybody you can just talk about the weather because it's around you. And it's kind of like everybody knows the rules kind of thing. You're just talking about it. You might be saying how lovely it is or how you wish it was some other way. We're often not satisfied. So there's a bit of an expectation that it's going to go in a certain way. So it's quite safe. It's easy to do. And it's always changing, so it's always around us. But I think small talk is important because it creates a relationship, doesn't it? You start building rapport.
I wrote down in my notes that it's like social grease.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's safe, neutral, and a way to signal friendliness without prying. Without asking too many personal questions where someone might feel uncomfortable. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm thinking about that sort of warning that you pick up as you grow up, which is not to talk about certain things like religion, like politics, like money. Those are quite taboo subjects when you don't know somebody very well.
Especially like politics.
Yeah, because they can be divisive and also money is quite personal. It's a private thing. People don't talk about how much they earn. So small talk's really safe.
Yeah. Okay, well, my next topic, Carol, is tea. Tea has always been something connected, right, to British culture, hasn't it? So first, do you prefer tea or coffee? Is my first
I tend to drink mainly tea. So there are some people, that if you ask them, do they want a drink, they're going to say coffee. And I think coffee's become more popular as a first answer to that now. More people, I think, are drinking coffee than when I was growing up.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because the coffee was awful when I was growing up.
Really?
You know, it
was
like,
it instant?
It was instant. It was like they hadn't even got coffee granules then. It was coffee powder, and it's disgusting. So it didn't.
Was it made of coffee, or was it like?
I think it was.
What's it called?
I mean, later on it became freeze dried, and it tasted more like coffee. But it was like. I mean, there's even something called camp coffee, which I don't think is made from coffee. No, I think it's made from chicory root.
It's got like 2% coffee.
Yeah. So it's like, I like a really well-made coffee. So from like an Italian cafe or something like that. Or when somebody else makes it for me, it tastes better than when I make it somehow. Oh. But I would normally drink tea. And it was funny because the first time I went to France as a 20-year-old, the family that I was working in for 3 weeks, they bought tea for me because they thought that's what I would be drinking. And they bought Earl Grey tea, which I'd never ever tasted. Oh, but now I love. But at the time I thought, what is this stuff? I don't even like it. So it's the kind of French version of tea would be something quite fancy like that.
And did they give it to you with like hot water or just warm water?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it?
That also is quite a thing, I think, in France.
Yeah.
Tea with warm water, not hot.
I know, because you get it in a cafe and the warm water is in the teapot, but not the bag. Whereas we have a very precise way of making tea over here, which is you warm the pot first, then you put the tea bag or the tea leaves in it, then you put boiling hot water on, then you leave it to sit, to brew. Well,
that leads me, I mean, this is a later question, but I thought it might still be interesting. Are you milk first or tea first?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never even had that question until I was grown up, you know. So a friend of mine said, no, don't put my milk in first. I always like it in second. I can't really tell. What about you?
Well, supposedly from the 1920s, milk first was frowned upon and seen as working class. Yeah. I actually thought it was the other way around. I may be wrong, but I looked up, and supposedly it is better to put milk first because you retain more of the proteins. Right. This is getting a bit too technical now, but tea is a very important subject in the UK. And I used to be a really big, tea lover. Now I do tend to drink coffee, but because I can't consume caffeine, and my favorite tea is Yorkshire Gold. And Yorkshire decaf just doesn't quite hit the spot, so to speak. It doesn't quite taste the same. Whereas high quality decaf coffee actually tastes pretty good. But it's funny, isn't it? Milk first or the tea first. Obviously, if you're using a tea bag, you should never put milk first. No. I have seen some people just put milk first, or they would pour hot water in and milk instantly.
Yeah. When I'm buying it at a cafe, I ask them now, can you keep my milk separate? Yeah. Because once you put milk on it, it just doesn't do anything.
No, it needs to steep, right? So, that's a technical word, I guess, for tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's quite funny. Yeah. And do you drink black tea?
No. I mean, there's a thing now that, it's quite a good thing health-wise to have black tea, but I don't like tea black. I don't like strong tea.
But what I mean is, I don't mean do not drink it with milk. I mean the type of tea.
The type of tea I drink is black tea, but I also do drink herbal tea. So I drink mint tea, and I drink a tea at night time that's got kind of like sleepy properties. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like, like I say, I liked Yorkshire Gold. Sometimes Earl Grey, because as you know, my mum Wendy drinks Earl Grey, so it's always in my parents' house. In the winter, I actually like to drink Lapsang Souchong.
That is lovely. I do like Lapsang.
For me,
smoky.
Yeah, smoky tea, and it just tastes like winter in a cup, a cozy cup.
Yeah, and
next to a
fire as well. Hot chocolate.
Yeah,
now, I made some the other day with full fat milk, with a square of really dark chocolate, a cinnamon stick, star anise, and cardamom seeds. I love cardamom taste.
I bet that would.
It was great.
Amazing.
And also cocoa powder.
Right, of course. Interesting. So, Carol, do we really drink as much tea as the rest of the world thinks we do? What do you think?
I think we probably do. If your mum's anything to go by, Wendy drinks a lot of tea.
She only drinks tea. I've never seen my mother drink a glass of water. She only drinks tea. I mean, sorry, if mum, if you're watching this, I'm half joking. I know you do occasionally drink water.
Yeah.
I just never have seen you do it.
I think we do drink a lot of tea. What do the stats say?
Stats. So you knew I had some stats?
Yeah.
How did you know that?
I don't know.
Well, it says here 100 million cups of tea a day. So people drink 100 million cups a day. So that's 36 billion a year. So that's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah. I was quite surprised actually. But, you know, a lot of my friends don't drink tea. I can name a couple of friends that just don't drink tea at all and only drink coffee.
I understand.
Yeah. So it is changing, definitely. And in a way, if I go to a cafe, I feel like, especially because I don't have a fancy coffee machine, that having tea is like, well, I can just make that at home.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I would prefer coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like going out for a good meal. You don't want to have something that you could very easily cook at home.
Like I tend to not have a basic pasta dish when I go out.
Exactly.
Sorry, yeah.
No, but like the same thing with coffee. Having it really good from an espresso machine is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a treat.
Good cappuccino. It's hard to do that at home if you don't have one of those fancy machines.
But never after 11 a.m.
No.
Right? That's the Italian rule.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
If you're Italian and you're watching this, let me know if that's true, that you're not supposed to drink a cappuccino after 11 a.m. I may be wrong.
And, you know, in Britain, again, sort of like in the 80s, it was a thing if you had people round to dinner, so a dinner party, which is kind of not so normal now, more formal, that you would have coffee as after the dessert. And then if you're giving people coffee just before bedtime, can that be good? But tell us, you people out there who drink coffee later on in the evening, is that okay? Do you get to sleep?
Yeah, I was always confused by that too. You just said now that people had more dinner parties back then. Why do you think people don't do that now?
I think it's not that people don't have friends round to eat. I think it's much more relaxed, much more informal. You know, I mean, when I was young, in my early 20s, I would spend all day kind of getting the house ready, getting the dining room ready, laying the table, making 3 courses, you know, really kind of making it special to make a dinner party. Now it's like, well, I do spend quite a long time making nice food for people, but it's more relaxed. They're in the kitchen diner with me, so we've done that more. Instead of having separate dining rooms now so much, we often have a kitchen that's knocked through to the dining room. And that means my friends can talk to me while I'm making stuff or even help me do it.
Yeah. It seems in a nicer way to have more of an informal dinner party. Yeah. Well, the next topic is pub culture. Because I feel like pub culture is a very British thing. And my first question is, what makes a pub more than just a place to have a drink?
Well, I think ambience is really important. So, and I think pubs have, I mean, again, when I was younger, pubs were pretty basic place. We have this phrase called spit and sawdust, you know, because in the 50s, well, maybe even going back beyond the 50s, but you have floorboards, you know, and people spilling their drinks, and sawdust is something that you would find not only in the butchers to soak up the blood, but to soak up spilled drinks. And people, the unpleasant habit of spitting and having a spittoon in a pub. So thankfully, those days are gone. Yeah.
Pubs are very fancy now.
They're very fancy.
When did the whole gastro pub become a thing?
I don't know. I would say maybe 90s, would you? When do you think it became a thing? 80s?
Well,
90s?
I mean, when I was growing up, there were either pubs that had nice food or pubs that you would predominantly just go and have a drink. You know, you would be like, don't eat there. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. So pub food can be really basic and awful and sort of ultra processed, but there's become more of a tradition, as you say, of gastropubs where they have a good chef, where they have a nice dining room, where they might serve food in the bar as well as in a restaurant. and it's kind of like good value.
It is good value for money, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a British food with a bit of a twist. So I think the gastro bit is, whereas, British food doesn't always have a good reputation, does it?
But that's a whole topic for later, that one.
Yeah, but in a gastro pub, you would expect something a bit fancier, but not so fancy as, I don't know,
Fine dining.
Fine dining, yeah.
Or even, yeah. I mean, there's a pub near Callum Island called the Fat Cat.
Yeah.
Do you know it?
Yeah.
And I remember they used to just have like a curry night.
Yeah.
So they would make a big pot of curry, and it would be curry and rice, and that's all there is on the menu. The day after would be a pie, and it was so cheap.
Yeah.
I remember it being like £4 or £5 for, or even less, for curry and rice, or a pie and chips. And I just loved that.
Yeah.
There's no menu. It's just, this is what the pub made today.
Yes.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And in some ways, the simpler the better. It's like when you go to Europe, somewhere that's got a few things that are seasonal on the menu are often better than a place with a long list and a big freezer. Yeah. So you know that pie has been made that day.
Exactly.
And so there's often themes around pubs, aren't there? So it depends who you are about what makes a good pub. Because if you're a quizzer, you want a quiz night.
Yeah, quiz nights, usually midweek.
Midweek to get people in. Yeah. So a place will have perhaps a certain menu. On a Friday, it's Fish Friday or whatever.
Exactly.
So there'll be themes to attract different audiences, won't there?
Yeah. I mean, I wrote down in my notes, I just put social value.
Yeah.
So it's a place, it's like the third place, between your home and your work. And it's a neutral ground where you can meet someone. My next question was, are young people still keen on pub life, or is it on the way out?
I think a lot of pubs are struggling. You see a lot of pubs up for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think if I go back to my parents' generation, women didn't go into pubs very much. Right. My dad would go into a pub on a Sunday lunchtime, and it would be kind of like the Sunday lunch would have to wait until the father got home, which could be when pubs closed, which was 3:00. So pubs had a thing of limited opening hours. So the opening hours have changed. You can see women in pubs now. I've been in pubs on my own when I was driving a long distance, and it was like the whole room stopped when I walked in, because one, I was a stranger, and two,
when was
I was
this?
a woman. Well, probably in the early 90s, not that long ago, but it was in the countryside.
It was one of those pubs where it's
So it wasn't in a town. It was kind of like, I wasn't a local. I stood out like a sore thumb.
Some pubs feel like they're just for locals, don't they?
Yeah. So I think it has changed a lot. I think the pubs that survive have got more versatile, like you've described, doing particular nights or themes, better food. Yeah. But I also think that the availability of alcohol has changed. So when I was a girl, you bought it in an off license, which was a shop that sold different kinds of alcohol, and you had to be a certain age to buy it. And I know that's still true, but we've now got supermarkets, we've got wine bars, we've got other ways of drinking, and people drink wine at home now more than when I was a child. Again, it was very new to have something at Sunday lunch.
And pubs are expensive.
They are, yeah.
I am flabbergasted, good word, by the price. I just can't believe the price of a beer is like £6.
I know.
Unbelievable. When I first started drinking, a pint of my favourite beer was £2.20.
Yeah.
Well, I put here that it's the question of why is it the heart of a community? And I wrote down the last truly public living room.
That's true.
It is like that, isn't it? It's kind of like a public living room.
Yeah.
And I do like that. I would hate for all these pubs to close down.
Yeah, I think the difference is that populations are more transient. They're passing through a lot of the time. So in pubs, in a city pub, in London, where I come from, for example, you probably don't get regulars. So there's this idea of a regular in a pub. Yeah. And if it's in your village or your town, or even if it's run by the community, which a few pubs are in the UK, it's got a very local, personal feel. Yeah. And somebody comes in who's not usual, who's not a regular, they will be noticed and then perhaps included. So it's like, I think that's another thing that's changing. The population's on the move a lot of the time.
Interesting, yeah. I recently went to Newcastle, and my uncle from Newcastle showed me around all of these old pubs, some of the oldest pubs around Newcastle. and they were just fantastic. They're like historic
Yeah.
places. They've got so much history in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful buildings, often with stained glass,
Oh, yeah.
polished brass, but a lot of them have been done up because of the gastropub thing or modernization.
Some of them,
So
the ones I saw.
they hadn't never been done up. No, they're spitting sawdust probably.
But I actually have a statistic that in 2024, 6 pubs closed every week. So that's about 289 pubs a year. And that's pretty sad. So it seems that actually, if there are 6 pubs closing every week, and that was last year, it looks like a lot of pubs will continue to close, especially independently run pubs, because there aren't many of them.
No.
Usually large companies, kind of get a landlord and pay the landlord.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I feel like we're talking too much about pubs now. It's not just about pubs. Let's move on. All right. Well, the next topic is food and drink. And the first question is, what would you say are the most British meals?
I think the first one that comes to mind, and which people will talk about, is a Sunday roast, which is often beef or chicken with roast potatoes. Beef usually with Yorkshire puddings, traditionally, but now people serve Yorkshire puddings with other roast meats, which was never done in my day when I was a girl.
Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't used to have Yorkshire puddings except with beef. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's become a thing. And fish and chips is the other one, which can be very good or very soggy.
Yeah, that's the thing with fish and chips, because if you get them wrapped up and you walk home, for example, and they're all like, they're a bit soggy.
They're steamed in the
They're steamed, aren't they? So I feel like you need to drive there, drive back, eat them straight away.
Absolutely. Eat them outside the fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
Because, originally they would have been wrapped in newspaper and had salt and vinegar sprinkled on them. And it's that smell that almost, before the taste, the salt and vinegar, which is the thing that everybody from my generation would kind of recognize that. Even before tomato sauce, ketchup was a thing, really, salt and vinegar was the thing.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I remember the chippy, we say, the chippy down the road, Abbey Friar.
Yeah.
I remember having a cone of chips, but I don't think it was newspaper. I like to think it was newspaper, but I don't think it was.
I think that died out when I was young, probably.
Yeah, but a cone of chips is always nice with salt and vinegar. Although I must say, I do have it now with ketchup and mayo.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I had it with mayo was in the Netherlands, and it just blew my mind. But also, French frites are just to die for, aren't they? They're sort of very fine and very crunchy. Right. Oh, such a treat.
Well, I saw a movie called Pulp Fiction, and they said, in the movie, they say, did you know they eat mayonnaise with chips? And I just remember thinking, I've never done that before. Yeah. So I tried it, and I was like, genius.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. I put fish and chips and Sunday roast as well. Okay, well, the next question is the Sunday roast still alive and well in most homes? What do you think?
I think it is. I think you should answer this one because I know it's alive and well in your family.
My mother cooks a Sunday roast Sunday, without fail. I don't know a Sunday when she hasn't cooked, when we haven't had a Sunday roast. Wow. Although my grandparents don't like beef, so it's usually chicken. Very, very, very occasionally pork. But yeah, I looked at a kind of a poll, and 75% of people said yes.
That's interesting.
So yeah, I think a Sunday roast. And do you like a Sunday roast?
I do like a Sunday roast, but I don't eat meat regularly, so I wouldn't typically have one. And then the alternatives are usually rubbish. So if you're going out to eat a Sunday roast, you always feel like you've been shortchanged. Everybody else has got the great food.
Yeah.
I'm not having it, so it feels disappointing.
Yeah.
But it also felt quite liberating when in the early 80s, when things became more flexible, and I decided I wasn't going to cook a Sunday roast. That felt like really kind of breaking the rules, but it meant you had Sunday to yourself, and then you eat in the evening.
It does take a long time. Yeah. It's funny you said about being a vegetarian, and that you feel like, what did you say? You're shortchanged.
Yeah.
It's a great phrase to learn, everyone. But my younger sister Emily is a vegetarian, and we went to France and we went to a restaurant and had burger night. And you would assume they would have a vegetarian burger. They're very popular in England, and they're actually really nice. Anyway, we all had burgers, and Emily just had the same burger, just without the beef patty.
Yeah.
So just some vegetables in a bun.
Ridiculous, isn't it? I know.
That's
what I mean by getting shortchanged.
Same price as well, same price.
So people, people who are, so like in the gastropub or in a good restaurant, people will think about what's a good alternative for a vegetarian instead of, but it's really hard to substitute something for a Sunday roast, I think.
Yeah.
All the vegetables can be delicious. So actually having just the vegetables of a proper Sunday roast or a Christmas dinner, great. But, the meat is missing.
My sister Emily has maybe vegetarian sausages, or there are some other things you can get now. The next question is, why is a full English such a national treasure? So my question in itself is saying that it already is a national treasure.
Well,
but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a national treasure because compared with Europe, actually our breakfasts do stand out, don't they? Although I think it's interesting because a lot of the time when in a weekday you'd just maybe have cereal or toast and jam, but at the weekend the breakfast, the Sunday
English,
breakfast is full English.
Or a full Irish or a full Scottish. Yeah. They all have their slight differences, and I love that too. And
there's lots in there, isn't there? And it's the smell of the bacon, so it's a sensory delight as well as full of fat and protein, basically. And fried bread I used to have when I was a girl. That's delicious. So
it's not terribly good for you.
It's a heart attack special, really.
A heart attack special, yeah.
My aunt was always trying to stop my uncle from having Sunday breakfast or full English because it's not good for the cholesterol levels, is it?
No. I rarely have it now. Yeah.
But it is tasty.
It is.
And it is, and it's interesting because it's a savoury dish, unlike some of the breakfasts that we would have more of now. And that is much more common in other countries. There's less differentiation between a breakfast. So when I was in India, for example, or Japan, you have the same things you might have in the evening on the breakfast table.
Right. Rice, soup, and other vegetables and stuff, right? Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. I also always like to have black pudding with my full English.
Yeah, I've never liked black pudding.
Have you not? Or I've never had haggis with a full English breakfast.
Haggis is nice.
But I would like to try that. But yeah, I always like black pudding. And in Ireland, I believe they have white pudding as well with it.
Yeah.
As in black pudding and white pudding.
Yes. Yeah, so these regional variants, I've had haggis on Burns night with my Scottish friends.
That's
very
cool.
tasty.
That's very cool. Can you explain Burns night?
Well, it's a celebration in honour of Robbie Burns, the Scottish poet and drunkard, actually, I think it's probably fair to say. And so there is this thing about having haggis with neeps and tatties, they call them in Scotland. So tatties is a Scottish way of saying potatoes, and neeps is a way of describing swede, mashed swede. And if you're really, authentic, you would have somebody playing the bagpipes and the haggis being brought in to the music of bagpipes.
I love it. Oh, I wish I could experience that someday. The next one is, why does British food taste bad? Well, that's kind of like a title. But I guess let's not answer that because that question is saying that it tastes bad. Let's change it to, where did the whole bland British food stereotype come from?
Yeah, well, I think in truth, a lot of cultures have bland food to some extent. I mean, rice is a bland food. Congee, which you find in Africa, is a bland food. Porridge, which we have here, is very bland. But actually those things can have a taste, which is quite subtle. So in Scotland, I first had porridge with salt. So, for example, we would put sugar in often, but not honey. But salt actually really brings out the flavour of the oats. So it's like, what does it mean to be bland? Sometimes it's nice to have something bland, as a kind of settling thing, as something when you. So I think nursery food is sometimes what we call bland food. It's something that's not got a strong taste that you would feed to your children. So that blandness is in there. But I think we have lacked the spices and the different savours of other countries, although that wasn't true in the Middle Ages. I mean, when those spices were coming over, people were roasting meats with lots of foreign spices.
Yeah, I've read some of the old recipes. I'm interested in that too. Really old recipes. Yeah, I think, well, if we look at my grandparents, they like steamed vegetables, you know, with chicken, a bit of gravy.
Yeah.
That's about it. Maybe some butter.
Yeah.
So they don't want spices. But nowadays, you know, if you go to a pub, they might cook the potatoes with rosemary.
Yeah.
You might have thyme with mushrooms. So they're
Garlic.
garlic with mushrooms, of course, and garlic with carrots. So we do have a lot of flavor, actually. So although, yeah, but compared to other countries,
we've been influenced. So, I mean, I would say it was fairly plain. We would call it fairly plain cooking when I was growing up, a bit similar to your grandparents. My mother would make a stew, which was actually quite tasty, let's say a lamb stew, but then it would have boiled potatoes and boiled vegetables. And there's a bit of a joke about us English cooking, putting the Christmas Brussels sprouts on sort of 2 hours early. I mean, they really only take 5 minutes to cook through, but soggy vegetables is what we're known for, or have been known for. I think things have changed a lot. People have got much more interested in food and taste.
Well, it's funny you said that, because my grandparents, they want everything to be cooked for 2 hours. Like really soggy carrots.
And no nutrients.
Yeah, they just, I don't know why they cook it for so long. I understand why they don't want to eat, for example, pink beef from their memory of, everything has to be really well done. But when it comes to vegetables, I don't really understand it.
No, it's crazy. And I think also there's something about, if you have really good quality food, you know, if the meat's been slow reared and it's very tasty and the vegetables are organic, they do taste of something themselves. It is very lovely. However, I'm a fan of flavour and adding things to make flavour.
Yeah, same. The last question for this topic is our food actually better than people give it credit for?
I think it is. I think if you eat seasonally, if you think about the regional variation, and if you go to places that have put sort of love into their food and thought into their food, you can have some really nice food in the UK. And there are equally places where it's not so great.
I think the phrase our food, you know, because British food, just like British culture, is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
I think later on, I was going to mention the chicken tikka masala speech that was about multiculturalism and how chicken tikka masala was like the most popular dish or something, or a very popular dish. And it is now British, like it was invented in Glasgow. So it's strange because we say our food, but actually, you know, we cook a lot of Italian food at home. We cook a lot of curries. Stir fry is very popular. Like whereas if you go to Italy, I don't think they're making cottage pie.
No.
I don't think they're making like a steak and ale pie. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas we, like the Brits, have really kind of just taken what we think is the best of many other cultures, right?
Yeah.
Like, I find that interesting. What do you think about that?
I think because we're an island, when we've gone abroad and we've seen other things, we've been excited by them. Or when people have come to our island, when I was a girl, again, people from different countries. So, as you say, from the Indian subcontinent or from China, you know, those were the two alternatives, probably a Chinese and an Indian in the high street in my growing up. So I think we've been interested in taking things from other cultures because we're so small and because also we're so different. It's such strong flavors compared to, as you say, our blander food.
Why do we not eat that much seafood?
I think we have eaten a lot of seafood in the past. Oysters were the food of the common people, weren't they? They were cheap.
In the Thames, I heard.
In the Thames, yeah. So I think things change, don't they? I think when you move away from, so how do you keep fish fresh, for example? So people who are living near to the coast will perhaps eat more seafood. I think also we're a bit squeamish, the British. A lot of people don't like dealing with taking the prawns shells off or eating, or getting sick from mussels. So there's a lot of kind of faffing, whereas in France I love it that you just get piles of seafood.
Yeah, and Spain as well. Yeah, I heard that we actually export a lot of our seafood to Spain.
We do. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just. But then if we do have like squid, it's going to be calamari. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not. We don't have like a British thing. Although jellied eels were a thing.
Yeah.
Did you experience jellied eels
Well,
growing up?
I always, my family would have them. My dad would eat them, but I just was put off by the jelly, you know. Although jelly in a pork pie from Melton Mowbray, very nice, very nice in the
jelly in
past.
a pork pie. Yeah. My nana used to take me as a young boy to Melton Mowbray
Did she?
to watch them make the pork pies.
yeah.
I have some fantastic memories of going there.
Yeah.
I always have a pork pie in the fridge.
Yeah.
I do.
They're a thing at Christmas, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay, I thought we finished food, but we haven't. We're moving now to regional specialties. What are some dishes you'd only really find in certain parts of the UK?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. Well, haggis is one we've already talked about. Let's not talk about that anymore. But Scotland, you wouldn't only find it there, but you would perhaps find better versions of haggis there.
Oh, yeah.
And more likely to see it on a menu.
How about Cornish pasties?
Cornish pasties, definitely.
People watching probably, maybe, have not
Absolutely.
even heard of it.
I know, and they aren't any longer sort of confined to Cornwall, but they were, weren't they, a workman's way of taking his lunch to work. So in one end of the Cornish, this isn't the case now, but apparently and historically, you would have savoury in the one end of the Cornish pasty and sweet at the other end of the Cornish pasty.
I did not know that.
But that doesn't happen now. I don't know when
That would be so cool.
I know.
Wait, but is it the same ingredient, but they just put sugar on the end? Or
No,
what
no.
would be?
I don't know, maybe apple or something like that. I don't think I'm making that up, but check it out.
But of course, if you look at the picture now of a Cornish pasty, you see the outside edge. I learned that one was not supposed to eat that edge because it was a lot of the miners
Yes.
that would eat these. So they had to throw away that hard bit around the edge, which I think's the best bit.
Yeah, but not if your hands are covered in coal dust.
No. But there are some amazing caves and stuff around Cornwall. I forgot what they...
Tin
what
mines.
Tin mines, that was it. These incredible tin mines. Have you visited them?
Yeah.
Or what's it like?
Yeah, it's like any mine, really. You're going down hoping, I hope this doesn't
Hope
crash.
you get back up.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What else? So in Wales, you could have lava bread, which
Yes.
I can't even think what lava bread is. Forgive me, all you people who originate from Wales.
Hasn't it got
Seaweed in it.
seaweed in it?
Yeah, I think it's got seaweed in it.
Yeah.
And Welsh cakes, which are a little kind of, like a scone almost.
Where did you know when we say rarebit?
Oh, Welsh rarebit.
Welsh
It's
rarebit.
Yes, which is cheese on toast, but with things added like mustard and what else do you put in Welsh rarebit? Worcester sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very lovely. I love
And I
Welsh
heard it was
rarebit.
because they couldn't use meat like rabbit, and they called it rarebit.
I know. So it's not.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know that, but it's definitely not Welsh rabbit. It's Welsh rarebit.
Yeah, very, very interesting thing to try if you ever go to Wales or even England.
You get Welsh rabbit. Cheese on toast is another way of saying it, but a bit special.
Yeah, fancy cheese on toast.
special.
What are the special...
Ireland, you've got colcannon, which is mashed potato with cabbage in, which can be very tasty. Doesn't sound like it is, but the sort of makings of something that we call bubble and squeak, which I used to have as a girl. Have you had bubble and squeak?
Of course.
I don't know whether it's come from Ireland, but leftover potato and leftover greens, so cabbage or Brussels sprouts, it could be chopped up fine and then fried.
Yeah.
Oh God, so good.
Tastes great. What about Yorkshire? You've got the Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding. What else?
I mean, Bakewell. You have
Bakewell tarts, Bakewell pudding. So I never liked Bakewell tart to begin with when I first came up to this part of the country, because it was very, I don't know, processed really, Mr. Kipling's cakes or something. It tasted very
exceedingly good. What's the
exceedingly
phrase?
awful, exceedingly good cakes. But it tasted very almondy, very bitter, very marzipan-y. Whereas
like marzipan.
if it's made properly, like the Bakewell pudding is made with ground almonds, it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, so if you ever come to this region, go to Bakewell, try the Bakewell pudding.
Yeah.
I actually only eat Bakewell pudding.
Me too.
I don't eat the Bakewell tarts because, like you say, it's the icing, it's the fake kind of a chemical taste. And the cherry to me doesn't add anything. And
Yeah, but the Bakewell pudding is gorgeous.
Yeah.
A real difference.
I can eat a large one by myself, and I do. Okay, this is the last one on food now. I feel like we've been talking about food forever.
Yeah, I love food.
I love food too. May I ask, what is your favourite dish? This isn't, it can be British or otherwise.
I don't know if I have a favourite dish. I always find favourite questions really hard to answer.
How about, what are you into at the moment, or what are you like, oh, I'm going to make this, I really like this?
I mean, a sort of an everyday thing that I might eat would be, or weekend thing would be fresh salmon roasted in the oven, not a whole salmon, just a fillet with some really nice vegetables and some garlic and some lemon and olive oil. So that would be my kind of quick fix on a Saturday evening or something like that, with a nice glass of wine. But during the week, I mean, I get this veggie box from Riverford, which is a company that grows organic vegetables and delivers them to your door. And
is this sponsored by Riverford as well?
Yeah.
20% off with the code Carol.
So they have delicious vegetables. So I've got some roasted squash, not butternut, but another one, a Japanese variety. So roast vegetables I might have quite a bit of, with maybe hummus or whatever, something like that.
Sounds to me you have somewhat of a Mediterranean diet.
That would be my Mediterranean diet.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Recently I've been making lentil curry
I love
with
curry.
Spinach and paneer in it, because paneer is on sale in Tesco's at the moment.
Yeah.
And then with samosas on the side. Completely vegetarian. And I'm not a vegetarian, but it just tastes so good.
I love dal. I really love dal. Dal with spinach.
Really garlicky.
Yeah,
dal.
so that's one of my favourites, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the question. It was, which regional dish would you actually recommend to visitors? I mean, we kind of mentioned the Bakewell pudding.
We have.
But a savoury dish. Let's talk about a savoury dish. Regional as well. Regional's difficult.
Very difficult. I mean, I don't know that there is one regional one that I would recommend.
Do you think there are less, because like in Korea, like I lived in South Korea for a long time, and there are very, very specific regional dishes, like this area is this dish. And there are loads of restaurants that pretty much only sell that.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to kimchi, that there are just regional types that you can taste it, you go, oh, okay, that's from whatever, Tornado province.
True in France as well.
Right, whereas I feel like exactly. Whereas do you agree, like in England, that it feels like there are less and less regional dishes?
Yeah.
It's not like you can just go to Birmingham and say, oh, that's the Birmingham pie.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah. I think the thing to do is to look for something that is really homemade, is made on the premises. So to have a really good pie in a pub. So chicken and leek pie, when I used to eat meat, chicken and leek pie or chicken and mushroom pie is beautiful. So really good also, shepherd's pie with minced lamb can be really good.
Yes. Be careful. Shepherd's pie is with lamb. Cottage pie is with beef, everyone.
So I would go for the lamb. I think lamb's better in a pie.
I agree, 100%. Yeah.
Although actually, shepherd's pie is not a pie because it's got mashed potato on top. Very confusing. Sorry about that.
It is confusing, isn't it? There are some fun dishes though. Toad in the hole.
Toad in the hole, exactly.
I don't know where that came from, but it must have been invented somewhere.
Yeah. You're going to tell people what it is?
Oh, toad in the hole. So we get a live toad, and no. It's usually like 2 sausages in what is like a Yorkshire pudding, isn't it? And it's like batter, and it's just cooked inside it. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it. And then I guess you would have vegetables, gravy?
On the side, gravy. You'd have gravy. So it's a way of bulking out sausages. When I was a girl, you'd have sausages, and then some people would have them in the batter. So the batter would be the carbohydrate, and it kind of bulks out the meal.
I never thought that was why they did it, but it makes sense. Yeah.
It's a bit like pasta, having pasta as a first course to fill you up before the meat comes, which there's not as much meat.
Right. It seems like we batter everything now, though.
I know.
Do you remember when they brought out the battered Mars bar?
Yeah.
And now you can buy battered Cadbury's cream egg.
No,
Have you tried that?
no,
Would you ever?
no.
No.
Another heart attack special.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's so bad for you. Okay, are we done with the food?
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to end on the food topic?
Well, I think we haven't talked about afternoon tea.
That is a very. Let me just see.
Is that coming up anywhere else?
It's not coming up. So yeah, let's.
Because that is something that I think is very British, and that we do it rather well.
Oh, I forgot to ask that question. Yeah, let's
Should we
talk
talk
about afternoon tea.
So afternoon tea, I mean, it has become a thing more to have it going out and having a glass of fizz with your afternoon tea as well. But in my girlhood, we didn't do that. But you could go out, and what you get in a really good afternoon tea cafe would be not just cakes, often Victoria sponges, which are quite plain with jam and buttercream, not real cream. And I can't think what other cakes.
Do you have the cucumber sandwiches
so
that are very cut with the crusts off?
White bread, cut with the crusts off, cucumber, bit of butter. So something, again, quite bland in a way, but you could have maybe crab sandwiches or, potted meat sandwiches was a thing when I was a girl. That was a cheap way of making a sandwich. And so I think afternoon tea scones, or you could call them scones. There's an argument about, is it scones like con or scones like moan?
Well, I always say that the Queen doesn't sit on the throne.
No.
And that's my argument.
Yeah, she sits on the throne.
I say scone for no particular reason, but I wouldn't ever judge anyone if they said scone. You say scone.
I say scone.
Scone.
Yeah, I don't know why. But also there's a thing about, do you put your cream on first on a scone or do you put your jam on
Right, we
first?
have Cornish way or the Devonshire way.
Yeah. And I don't know which is which.
Devonshire, I believe, is, and if I'm wrong, I'll put it up on the screen, is clotted cream first, then jam. I'm Devon way.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you?
I like it that way too. It's great. And clotted cream is just so fantastically thick and clotted. And again, my grandparents used to go to Cornwall for holidays and they would send back in a tin some fresh clotted cream to us in London. Yeah.
Love it.
It was amazing. That was the only way you could get it. Now you can get it at a supermarket.
Yeah, I have to say, clotted cream is my kind of like guilty pleasure.
Gorgeous.
Like I always have it in the fridge. I have clotted cream and pork pies. No, but I had a scone yesterday,
There you go.
Homemade jam, clotted cream, absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely.
Cup of tea. For me though, if I have scones, I have to have it with tea. Even though I drink more coffee nowadays, I still feel like it needs to be paired with tea.
Absolutely. Afternoon tea, the clue's in the title, isn't it?
go.
Afternoon tea.
So what's high tea?
High tea, I think that was invented, I think probably in the owning or upper classes, for that gulf between sort of lunch and dinner, which would often be at 8 p.m. and you'd have had lunch at 1, let's say, and you were going to be feeling hungry. And also the children would be fed before the adults at that time as well. And then it's still a thing, isn't it? We do that with our children because they're hungry. So high tea, I think, is that combination of something that's given about 5 o'clock that could be a mixture of savoury and sweet things. I don't know.
I don't know if people watching this think that we have afternoon tea every day and we go to a fancy restaurant or cafe even every day. We don't. But it is very popular. I recently visited Harrogate and there's the famous Betty's Tea Room.
Fabulous Betty's. Do go to Betty's.
Yeah. They actually have a really special scone or scone there, which I recommend. I forgot the call. I think it's called...
Fat Rascal, is it?
Oh, it is. Oh.
I don't know.
It is, yeah. How did you know that? You've been, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just a queue, a really long queue all day, every day. It's extremely popular. We have a few nice tea rooms around here. I mean, we have Jameson's.
Yeah.
I don't really like that in terms of the interior. There's, you know where they had the RHS flower show?
Yes.
There's that place. Is it Wentworth?
Wentworth Castle.
Yeah, so they do amazing afternoon tea in Wentworth Castle, and it's not too expensive. Really nice. Maybe I'll do an episode there and show you all.
Because you get, in afternoon tea, you get kind of like a 3-tiered plate with sandwiches, with scones, and with little cakes. And so you get a lot of variety, a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar, and it's very bad for you, but it's also delicious.
And I also like nice cutlery. It makes anything taste better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's an event.
Yeah, if you go to a fancy place and yeah, like you say, it's an event and it's just nice, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a treat.
It is. I don't even remember what the question was or what we were talking about. I don't know where we are.
Afternoon tea we were talking about.
How did we just started talking about tea, afternoon tea,
Yeah.
didn't we?
So we wondered if we talked about all the food things and decided we'd miss that.
So I guess in summary, it is a thing, but we don't do it every day.
No.
But it's still very popular, and even I would say continually becoming more popular. Would you agree or not?
I think so, because it's something that people do to celebrate. They take you out for your birthday for afternoon tea, and you can have a glass of fizzy, maybe even champagne. I mean, I have taken my niece to the Ritz in London to have a birthday tea there with champagne.
What was that like?
It was great. I took my mum, my niece and me. My niece and I share a birthday. So we went for our birthday, and it was like, it was quite special, but I'd say you can get just as good cream teas, high teas elsewhere.
Right. Well, if you're watching this, that means you have come to the end of the video. So congratulations. Really well done. Let me know by writing in the comments something like fancy a cuppa, which means would you like a cup of tea? Okay. So put that in the comments. And that means I know that you have really watched until the end of this video. And also, if you have any questions or you would like to listen to a new topic, a different topic, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to reply and do that for you. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and it's great to have you here, really. All right, I'll see you in another video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.